Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're talking about why silver is so important to stack in an unstable economy, some of the factors that go into it, and also how this can influence silver's price in the grand scheme of things. Before we jump into this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you already haven't. I post daily videos, so stay tuned if you want to keep informed in the world of precious metals. So anyways, let's jump right into this topic, which is an unstable economy that we definitely live in and we always have been living in, but it's becoming more serious, and I definitely think the time is coming where people definitely need to get in the ball game of precious metals before it's too late. You do not want to be one of those people that missed the boat. Luckily nowadays, the world we live in, precious metals is easier to hear about, whether it's from gold rallying recently and the media covering it, whether it's from all these technological companies, coming out and mentioning that we do need silver and nothing else performs the way that silver does for as cheap as it is. Whether it's, just people not really trusting the financial system anymore or the banks or the government, and they're looking outwards for other solutions, that those things also play huge factors to drive people into the world of precious metals. For me, and for the topic of this video, a lot of us came as a prepper type mind state for bartering, more of a SHTF survival type thing, trying to basically fight hyperinflation and fight the dollar collapsing. I know that's what drove me into precious metals at first. A lot of people do come in from coin collecting as well, though. It doesn't really matter what got you into this asset. What's important is how you perform after you've got your feet in the water, because you can know all the knowledge in the world. You can know about all the coins, all the key dates, all the sets, the series. You can know how to prevent milk spots. You can know which coins to buy at what times, how to sell, everything. But if you're not actually putting in the work and actually doing something about it, then all that knowledge is irrelevant. I could know as much information in the world as anyone, but if I'm not stacking my coins and not buying and selling at certain times and not protecting my silver correctly, then all that knowledge is basically going out the door. So it definitely does take some action to take control of your stack, figure out which direction you want to go, figure out your ratios, your portfolio, when you're going to buy, when you're going to sell, be organized, put your buying time frames down. Don't go over your boundaries. If you're budgeting, make sure you're budgeting in the appropriate, price range, but that you're comfortable buying or selling. This all takes lots of planning. You don't want to overcomplicate it. There's definitely tools out there that can help yourself a lot easier than using pen and paper. Like AppMex has a tool on their site where you can put in all of your silver, not even silver you've bought from them, and it does all the math and all the work for you. It'll show you what percent of your stack is silver, what percent's gold, how much it was when you bought it, how much your stack has appreciated or depreciated over time. All that, and it's a great way to measure your stack along the years, especially if you're stacking hundreds, if not thousands of ounces. But let's go back into this economy, because this is a main factor into silver's price nowadays. Probably the biggest factor when it comes to silver price predictions. I know there's a lot of these articles out here doing silver price charts and silver chart analysis and stuff like that, where they try to predict silver's price for the next 5, 10 years, and they really are just speculative. But there are factors that can heavily influence silver's price more than other factors. Like the gold to silver ratio isn't going to influence silver's price at the rate as, let's say, something happens major, like a major tragedy in the economy. That would drive silver's price a lot higher. Why do I say that? Well, let's look at historical data. So let's look at the year when silver was $50. What was going on then? That was in the 2000s, when everything was in a panic like state. The Y2K recession, September 11th, a lot of stuff was happening where people did not trust the governments. They were very scared, and they were looking outwards for other solutions, and they found gold and silver as a safe physical asset they can store. So looking forwards in the future, that's going to be the biggest outlier. That's what's going to drive silver's price. That's the main way people find precious metals. If the economy's in a very comfortable state, they trust the banks, they trust their money in those savings account. They trust the government. They're not really looking, they don't have the same passion as silver stacker or coin enthusiasts do. So they don't have the same motivation or the same drive to invest into silver and gold, especially if it's not appreciating or making them any money. At the end of the day, it can be, and it is a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, about making money or making profits. And if gold and silver isn't making profits that you can see tangible evidence, then why would they invest into it if they check on silver every couple weeks or every couple months and the price is always $16? Like, why would I put my money into this? They would rather get into something like Bitcoin or something that, appreciates faster. But that's because they don't understand the bigger picture, and they're not educated on what silver does. What your asset does is more important than the price or what it's done in the past. You can you can appropriately, or you can accurately, let's say, price or measure how valuable something is going to be, not from its past historical data or whatever, but what it does, the intrinsic value of it. With cryptocurrency, what does it do? It's a decentralized asset on a blockchain, a global currency traded worldwide with instant to zero little fees. That's pretty beneficial. So there's potential in that, because especially the digital age we're going into, I can see in the future how that could be beneficial. It's definitely still in a rough draft phase, so I'm not putting all my money on it right now saying it's perfect, because it's far, far from perfect, but it has potential. Now let's look at something along the lines of some stock that is having like the what's that, the Huawei or whatever, that the technology company that keeps coming out with these laptops and stuff that keeps getting revised or shut down or having to refund all the stuff. That's a direction you wouldn't want to go in. So if you can look at what the asset's doing at that current time, you can appropriately judge where it's heading. Silver and gold is used more and more every single day, and it's the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity. And we need it in the industrial side of the world as well, and the medical side of the world. So those are things that we need in the everyday world more and more, especially the way we're advancing in. That's something that's never gonna get. That's something that money can't buy. That's priceless. Silver was always going to be needed, so there's always going to be a demand for it. I don't know if there's always going to be a supply for it though, and that's where the real value or the undervalued aspect comes from it. Because just because everyone wants it doesn't mean it's always going to be there to supply them. So that's where this surplus can happen. That's where the real magic can happen with precious metals. And that's the main factor. That's the main missing link that people miss when they're looking at this as well. And that's the biggest thing that they need to be understanding, because that's the whole reason we invest into silver and gold. If they don't, if you invest in if you heard about precious metals and you didn't understand what silver is used for, then you would just think it's some shiny coin that people just bought because it looks cool. And that's definitely not the case. Maybe for, the more tangible or materialistic type people that wear the gold chains and stuff like that, yes, for them it is. But for the people that are investing into the actual metal content, the metal value, they understand what it's really used for, the thousands of uses it has in the everyday world. And that's where the real value is. Silver is real money. People have known this for thousands of years, and they always will. Always will. Fiat currency always isn't going to be money. It barely is money now. It's more of a note that you can purchase stuff with, that is getting pumped into a system of debt that is collapsing extremely fast. And that's the best accurate, that's the best accurate explanation I can even give you, to be honest. And that's really sad, but it's the truth. And I hope people understand this more and more every day. That's why I make these videos. That's why I tell you guys to like these videos and subscribe and share these videos. And just let's try to get the word on YouTube, the biggest platform for speech and spreading messages. that we can do, because the silver YouTube community is small, but it's strong, and we can, and I see it growing bigger every day, and that's a very, very good thing to acknowledge and understand and recognize, because that shows that people are more interested in it now than ever, and that also shows where silver is headed in the future as well. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you already haven't. I post daily videos, so stay tuned for more content. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.